The Florida Gators have built an elite roster, and it starts with the premium positions.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free for every single podcast and on YouTube. Happy Friday! I'm Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work from New York Giants on SI. I will hopefully be able to speak again fully on Monday. Let's do it. Today's episode of Locked On Gators is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. And we're talking about something that, I can't believe we haven't talked more about lately, but I guess with all the recruiting stuff, we haven't really done it, but it's building block time, right? And for those of you who don't know, we will be talking about the building blocks, the 5 pillar positions, premium positions, whatever you want to call them. We will be talking about them for the Florida Gators today. And then I think next week before camp starts, because camp starts on July 30th. So before camp starts, I think we'll talk about the premium positions, or the premium positions for other teams on the schedule, because it's fun to see, right? And again, this thought process, this theory, whatever you want to call it, is that if you are good at the 5 premium positions, then you've probably got a pretty good football team, right? Thomas Dimitroff is the reason that I know about it. I'm sure there's a million other people that have talked about it, and now we talk about it, we talk about premium positions. It's played a part in how teams build their roster in college and in the NFL, right? We talk about the spots where you look at the NFL draft, right? The first round is made up of a lot of guys at certain positions. Quarterback, offensive tackle, wide receiver, pass rusher, and corner. Those are the premium positions. They're the positions that teams will, get this, pay a premium for. And the rules here are we're looking at the present and the future of the building blocks. And so for the present, at quarterback, you've got DJ Lagway, right? And don't forget, present building block is a proven good player. So if DJ Lagway didn't take a snap last year, but he was the unquestioned starter this year, he wouldn't be listed as a proven good player for the present. If he played a ton last year and stunk it up, he wouldn't be here as a proven good player for the present. Okay? That's that for present. That's the bar. Proven good player. Which for other teams, when we talk about the schedule, we usually, I forgot what we did last year. I think we set like a grade. And we were just like, all right, if that's it, to make it as objective as possible, I think I did it for Florida as well. I was like, hey, if you got this PFF grade for anything, then, or as in like if your offensive grade was an 80 or whatever, that's good. I think PFF has a 70 is good, so we'll probably have that. For the future, it's a blue chip player that's been in college for no more than a year, or a true freshman that was a consistent contributor last year. So, like, I don't know. Let's just say, I'm trying to think of someone that didn't play, like Miles Graham, right? Miles Graham didn't play a premium position, but if linebacker was one, he would be there regardless of the ranking. It's just a guy that played a lot. If running back was one, Jaden Ball would be there regardless of the ranking. He'd be there because he was a consistent contributor as a freshman, okay? So, present at quarterback, the Florida Gators have DJ Lagway. And look, I've been, I think, harder on DJ Lagway than probably most Florida Gators fans. Again, I've never said he's not good. I think he's very incredibly talented, but he's inexperienced, and the inexperience does play a part when you're evaluating him and when you're watching him. When you're watching DJ Lagway, you could see that he's got all the physical tools to be and I don't mean this to be, Gator glasses on. I don't mean this to be pandering to anybody. DJ Lagway has the physical tools and the leadership intangibles to be one of the best quarterbacks on the planet when he's hit his ceiling. He goes to the league because he's not going to hit it in college. He goes to the league. He continues getting developed. You're talking about someone that's an MVP. Okay? So for the proven, he's there. Proven good player in the present, he's there. The future, this is where it's interesting. So for the future, again, got to be in college for no more than 1 year or not in college at all yet. So we're looking at the 2024 recruiting class, 2025 recruiting class, and 2026 recruiting class. If you were the consensus 4-star, you're here. So, Florida, DJ Lagway, guess what? He still qualifies because he's part of the 2024 class. So he qualifies there as a blue chip player that hasn't been in college. So he's there. Okay. 2025 class, Tramel Jones qualifies there. So Tramel Jones, a blue chip player. 2025 class, obviously not been in college for a year yet. 2026, Will Griffin qualifies. That means that when we talk about the most important position in all of sports, because it is, right? It's the most important player in all of sports. Because sure, I guess you could argue that, starting pitcher overall might be more important, but there's a rotation. So maybe the 5 of them combined equal 1 quarterback. You want to make that argument, you're going to lose it. But there's no position that impacts any sport as much as quarterback impacts football. Nothing in basketball. Because in basketball, LeBron, forward, not a point guard. So you can't say point guard because we could just go, the greatest guy ever. Not that. When we talk about football and we talk about the GOAT, it's always going to be a quarterback conversation, right? Whether or not it should be. It's always going to be. So you talk about that. Baseball, there's not a single position. Soccer, there's not a single position. Hockey, there's not. It's quarterback in football. That's the most important individual position, individual player in all of sports. Quarterback. And when we talk about that position and the value behind that position, Florida not only has a guy that is proven to be good right now with 2 years of eligibility, or 2 years of eligibility minimum. They've got a guy in the 2024 class, 2025 class, and 2026 class at the most important position. Say what you want. They get their quarterbacks, right? They've gotten good quarterbacks here now. Earlier on in Billy Napier's tenure, it wasn't as easy to get good quarterbacks to actually come to Gainesville. But you can get them signed, right? That's cool. But Florida has their guys now. They've got 3 blue chip players back to back at quarterback. They've done that. Now it's about building around them, and Florida's done a pretty good job there. We'll talk about that when we get back with Locked On Gators. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or tennis on the green, or high-stakes soccer action also on the green, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Just open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. And again, get $5 or get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins with FanDuel.com. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. And the next part of today's show, we are sticking with our premium positions and our building blocks. We're talking about wide receiver and offensive tackle here, right? And again, this is proven good player. I'm not saying proven elite player. For the present, there's 2 conversations to have, right? There's 2 players to have the conversation about. The first off is J. Michael Sturdivant, transfer from transfer from UCLA by way of Cal. J. Michael Sturdivant. And there's Trey Wilson. And J. Michael Sturdivant is new, wasn't productive, and I get it, right? Like UCLA's offense isn't good. It was awful. He wasn't going to be productive there. He's not going to have gaudy numbers. Film looks pretty good, but I'm going to say no for J. Michael Sturdivant. Again, not that he's not a good player. I do think that, I feel pretty confident that he will be good. But this is about things we know, and we don't know that he's going to be good, right? Trey Wilson, people are going to bring up the stats, which I don't think is fair. Just because I think context matters, right? J. Michael Sturdivant was good at UCLA. Stats weren't there. Film's still good, but we don't know if he's still going to be good and mesh properly here. Trey Wilson, stats look great. Then you cut on the film, and it's like, oh, everything's behind the line of scrimmage. That's what it is, right? Everything's been behind the line of scrimmage. He's gotten hurt both years. However, I am going to say yes for Trey Wilson because last year looked good. Year prior, he looked good. He looks good when he can run routes. Just please, I know someone on the staff watches this because I'll get messages. I know someone watches or listens. Let Trey Wilson run routes. I've said it so many times. Like watching Trey Wilson just reminds me so much of Odell Beckham Jr. Like the way that he moves reminds me of Odell Beckham Jr. And Odell Beckham Jr. was at one point one of the best wide receivers on the planet. It was a very short-lived amount of time, but he was. And the way that Trey Wilson moves reminds me of that. Except he's got a little bit more mass than Odell. So Trey, let him run routes. Like you look at how he moves with the ball in his hands. It's like, wow, he can move like he can move. We know he can move. And it's not just speed. It's the way he accelerates and decelerates. And the way that he just functions in space. Fluid as hell. So for the present, I'll give you Trey Wilson. I'll give you one at receiver. For the future, 2024, Tank Hawkins. Again, this is blue chip players from 2024, 2025, 2026 class. Tank Hawkins, TJ Abrams for 2024. 2025, Vernon O'Brien III, Dallas Wilson, and Nashawn Montgomery. You got 3 blue chip receivers in 2025. 2026, you've got 2 receivers committed. They're both blue chips, Marquez Daniel and Justin Williams. Receiver room is stacked with blue chip receivers. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. I love it. I'm excited. Then you go offensive tackle. Present. I'm torn on this one. I'll be honest. I'm torn on Austin Barber. I am. Because I think he's good. But he's not great. And I've said this before. I think a lot of people have also said this. He'd be better at right tackle. He would. I mean, his film at right tackle is better than left tackle in year 2. He'd be better at right tackle. Don't tell me about left tackles making more money. That's ridiculous and false, and you're not having an actual conversation about football in 2025 at this point. You're not. If you say it's because of left tackle holds more value, that's not true. It's not. Why is the highest paid offensive tackle in the NFL a right tackle if left tackle is more valuable? Is the answer because it's not? It's just not. The highest paid 2 tackles in the NFL are right tackles. Don't tell me it's because of the value of left tackle to right tackle. It's not. I don't know why he's still playing left tackle. He's better at right tackle, and you're still going to get paid a ton. You're still going to get drafted high. I don't get it. That being said, I do still think he's a good left tackle. I just think he'd be a great right tackle. So I'll give it. I'm a little torn on it, but I'll give it. For the future, well, 2024, you've got Fletcher Westphal, right? And Fletcher Westphal I think is my second favorite offensive line commit that Florida has gotten under Billy Napier. Okay. And Fletcher Westphal is someone that you can go back. He's been on the show before, but you can go back. And for Fletcher Westphal, that's a guy that genuinely made me feel like, okay, they might be turning this around in terms of offensive tackle recruiting. Because Fletcher Westphal, his film, monster. Like, his film was the first time I feel like I really remember looking at a Rob Sale commit and going, they've got him. They've got their offensive tackle with elite physical traits, the size, the strength, the athleticism overall, as well as having the aggressiveness that Fletcher Westphal had. Because Fletcher Westphal killed people in high school. Like, he was a beast, destroying people in high school. And so Fletcher Westphal, for me, is on the offensive line a turning point in recruiting. 2025, you got Tavares Dice. And I know people talk about him, TJ Dice. I know people talk about him as is he a tackle long-term or a guard long-term? I really don't know. But I am taking the approach with all offensive linemen that are playing a tackle that it's up to their footwork to determine what that's like. And Tavares Dice has pretty good footwork. Big dude, too. So Tavares Dice, like, let him play tackle. He's a blue chip for 2025. 2026 is an interesting one. Because in 2026, they've got 5 offensive linemen committed. They're reportedly, pretty much all done. And 2026, they've got a guy that is a 4-star on one site. He's also a 4-star on the composite. But it's a 4-star on one site, and it's Rivals. And Rivals is the right site here, okay? Tyler Chukuyum is a 3-star on 24/7 and ESPN. And that means that 24/7 and ESPN are wrong. Okay, Tyler Chukuyum is my favorite offensive line commit that Billy Napier has ever gotten. Okay, I think that Tyler Chukuyum's film is just incredible. Again, like, I like his film more than I like Fletcher Westphal's film, and I love Fletcher Westphal's film. I just think Tyler Chukuyum is just like, I watch him play, and I'm like, he is fluid like no high school offensive tackle that I remember watching when I watched in depth. I can't remember the last time watching an offensive tackle as fluid in pass pro as Tyler Chukuyum is. He's as aggressive as Fletcher Westphal. And I just think that, he's got the fluid footwork that I really don't remember seeing for a high school. That's why he committed. I put him as my second highest rated Florida Gators commit behind only CJ Bronaugh. And I put him as the second highest rated Florida Gators commit on my personal board. And I remember the comments that were like, second's really high. And then he skyrocketed to 88th player in the country on Rivals. And he's going to keep climbing. He's a hell of a football player. They got him. And I will say also, offensive tackle, receiver are spots where you should have multiple building block players because multiple guys play. Quarterback, you just need one every year. The other spots, multiple guys are playing. We are going to talk about the defensive building blocks when we get back with Locked On Gators. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day, we are available daily and free, whether it's in the podcast and on YouTube. And the defensive side is fun when we're talking about building blocks here. First off, I've always been a defensive guy, so it's fun to talk about. Second is that Florida is really, really strong at a couple spots on defense. And the couple spots on defense that they're really, really strong are not just linebacker, where I think a lot of people talk about. I think a lot of people, when you talk about this team, you go, linebacker, running back, offensive line, that they got it. If this were running only, Florida would go 16-0. But I think that when you look at the pass rushing side, which, by the way, this used to be edge rusher, right? When Thomas Dimitroff was still the GM of the Falcons, which is when I picked up the premium position, which is why I'm not saying he's, the best GM of all time. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying he had a really good way to, explain his ideas or to explain his philosophy with the premium positions. And it used to be edge rusher, because edge rusher used to be the pass rusher. It used to be, hey, if you're on the interior, stop the run, and if you can contribute as a pass rusher, that's great, but really, really good for it from the edge guys. That has changed now, right? That's changed, because it's no longer just, hey, if you're if you're a defensive tackle, your job is to just stop the run and not worry about anything else, because it just doesn't work like that anymore. Because now in the NFL, for example, you got guys like Aaron Donald, not an edge rusher, maybe listed as defensive end in Madden, but that man was playing on the interior. Okay, so you got guys like Aaron Donald. You got guys on the interior that are just killer pass rushers like Chris Jones. Guys like Quinnen Williams. Guys like Dexter Lawrence is one of the very few nose tackles that really qualifies for this. You've got guys on the interior like Jalen Carter, like all those guys. Namdi Madubuike. Guys like that. All on the interior that are elite pass rushers from the interior. It's no longer edge rusher, it's pass rusher. Because that's your job now as an interior player. Because the quickest way from point A to point B is a straight line. Edge rushers bend or go straight from the side. Defensive tackles, they go straight. Just straight. That's why they're valued right now. Okay? That's why they're valued as pass rushers there. So it's just pass rushers. And Florida has 3 guys that I think are pretty damn good pass rushers, right? Caleb Banks is the best pass rusher on the team. I don't doubt that at all. I don't question that at all. I don't think it's really debatable. I get it. Tyreek Sapp had more sacks. That's cool. That's not what makes you the best pass rusher. Doing things consistently makes you the best pass rusher. And Caleb Banks beat the absolute crap out of future NFL offensive linemen for most of the year last year. A lot of his production came in the end, but film, pretty damn good there. Then it's Tyreek Sapp. Tyreek Sapp last year had, I think, the best overall year for any, honestly, maybe any Florida Gator. Defensively, yep, but maybe any Florida Gator. Tyreek Sapp had the best year of his career last year. It was awesome to see, because I've been very open. I'm someone that has been skeptical of Tyreek Sapp, just because Tyreek Sapp and Justice Boone are 2 guys who every year, Florida Gators fans on social media would just, these guys are going to pop off this year. And it was just like, okay, I need to see it. I'm tired of talking about it. I need to see it. Tyreek Sapp showed me last year. He did it. Tyreek Sapp played NFL football last year. I thought he would be gone to the draft because he played so damn well, but I guess flew under the radar, right? Tyreek Sapp, second best pass rusher. They're not done now, right? They're not done. Florida has 1 more, and it's George Gums, George Gums, I think I'm lower on him than a lot of other Florida Gators fans were. I just don't think he was as refined or consistent, but I still think he was good. I just don't think I think a lot of Florida Gators fans talking about him as like a 10-sack guy this year. I just don't think he's going to do that, but I do think he's going to be really freaking good again this year, because I think he was really good last year. So I think as far as pass rushers go, you got Caleb Banks, Tyreek Sapp, and George Gums are all there. Florida has not 1, not 2, but 3 present proven building blocks. And then you talk about the future, and 2024, LJ McCray, 2025, Jaden Woods, 2025, Jalen Wiggins, 2025, Joseph Mbachu, 2025, Jeremiah McLeod, 2026, Jarrell McCoy, 2026, KJ Ford. I wouldn't fight you if you wanted to say Kendall Gervil as well for 2026. Florida has gotten significantly better on defensive line development and recruiting since Gerald Chatman got there, first off. But also just in recent years, they've just gotten a lot better. LJ McCray was a big name, absolutely. But as far as having guys that are just in abundance, you got them. And you need a lot because they're going to play a lot. Florida's there for the future and the present on pass rusher. We talk about outside corner, and it's a bit different, right? Because outside corner, there's no one. There's no one that you can tell me is a proven, good, consistent player there. because Dijon Johnson had 1 year of above average film. He had some pretty bad beats, and so I don't really want to give him the proven good. I don't want to say nickname there, but like indicator. I don't want to give it to him there. Devin Moore, the best ability is availability, and Devin Moore has never been available for more than half a year. I can't say that you're a proven good player if you haven't proven that you can be a player, period. Because he hasn't. He hasn't proven he can be a player. He's not on the field. Do it this year. I think that when he's on the field, he's really good. But his situation is different from Trey Wilson's situation. Because Trey Wilson, as a true freshman, had a really good true freshman year. Last year got hurt while having a good year, but Devin Moore has never had a good year where he's played more than 8 games. Hasn't been a thing. So I can't give it to him. Can't say it. Colmani McClain? Nope. Can't give that to him either. Corner, they don't have a proven good guy. I think they've got a bunch of guys that can really step up and really prove themselves, but until they do it, nope. It's honestly just as simple as that. Until they do it, I can't say that they have it. However, for the future, 2024 class, you got Jamrock Grimsley, Jameer Grimsley. So 2024, you got Jamrock Grimsley. 2025, you've got Ben Hanks III. And by the way, Ben Hanks III, I mean, just a pretty damn good athlete. Really looking forward to what he's bringing to the table this year. I don't know how much he's going to play this year right away. But I do I just, his film's fun. Ball hawking guy. Like it's a good watch there. So you got Ben Hanks. Onis Konanbani, I probably should have been, but isn't for whatever reason. I know some places, ESPN and Rivals had him as a 4-star. On 3, when On 3 was still a thing, and 24/7 had him as a 3-star, which would mean that we're not going to, go back and edit things. But this year, if he were there, it'd be ESPN and Rivals would have him as a 4-star. On 3's now thinking 24/7 as a 3-star, so he probably would be if they re-ranked things, but they don't. And Javari Flowers, I didn't include in this only because Javari Flowers, I think, is going to play slot long term, and I think that's what most people are assuming. So, this is outside corner. However, for 2026, Florida Gators have 2 corner commits, both named CJ, and both blue chip players, CJ Bronaugh and CJ Hester. And I've said CJ Bronaugh to me is the best or the highest ranked commit in the class. At the last time that I did my rankings, I'll update them now that Florida's added 6 commits since then. So I'll update them probably next week. But CJ Bronaugh had the highest ranking, and he's still going to be pretty damn high, regardless of whether or not he's first or not. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Got a lot of talented players at premium positions. That's been the emphasis. That's going to continue to be the emphasis. But Florida nailing it there. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day, we are available daily and free, whether it's in the podcast and on YouTube. We will be back Monday to talk more Florida Gators football. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work in New York Giants on SI, and I'll see you all next time.